I come here every day. I'm here 24/7. This is my sanctuary. It's a wonderful studio. I think that I am the luckiest person in the world when I walk here every day, especially a friend of mine who built it for me, and I think of him all the time that he did it, which is true also. So here I worked. As you can see behind me, that's all people who are part of my life or influence my life, or people who I admire. And there's my mother, which I feel, that she had such a big part of me. I was born in Prague. My mother was an artist. She was a modernist, and all her friends were modernists. And so my house was full of colors. She liked colors, and everything was really beautiful. Even that all my friends' furniture and the houses they lived in were antiqued, all old and, kind of very European. I grew up in a Bauhaus style, in very clean colors. And I think that had a tremendous influence on me. When I was 14, I left and I went to Israel, where I was studying in the Academy of Art, a very good school with wonderful teachers who were actually students of Bauhaus. So this particular thing continued in my life, and the influence. I had amazing Russian teachers, I had German teachers, and they was a big part of my life. After that, I came to America. I did want to be an architect at one point, an artist. It was still kind of something I couldn't decide on what I actually wanted to be. And somehow, because of many different reasons in life, I ended up in fashion, which was a blessing in many ways, and took me away from art, but taught me different kind of art. And it was a big influence when it came to colors. In fashion, in textiles, you're using colors. You do collections. I mean, the colors are unlimited. You do enormous amount of it, and you have to think very fast. What color goes with? What shape goes with that? It was a good training. It was almost like being in an army in some kind of a way. And it taught me discipline. It taught me business. And I think that at a certain point in my career there ended, even though it was a long one and I traveled worldwide. I ended here from New York City into this wonderful paradise, which I completely adore. And my colors are like getting lost here because everything is in these colors. So I feel very at home here. Colors are bright. Everything looks just the way I like it. And it's very inspirational for me. I get lots of ideas here. Every day is a surprise. I don't know what I'm going to be working on, and I come with a plan, but it changes every time. And there could be a heron I can see outside, and I am all excited about it. And I think about him, and then I'm looking at some of the pieces, and I said, oh my God, look at this. This looks just like a tree. Oh, I love this. So one thing ties to another. My work is very organic, I think. It always moves. It's never have rigid edges or very geometric, even that some of the motifs that I do sculptural I like. I started a new direction, which I'm excited about. My previous work was always very detail-oriented, layered-oriented, as we were looking at here. I always wanted to do dimensional things. As you can see that this whole thing is about dimension, but it was never enough for me. I continuously wanted to pull things out of the paintings. I started to do things in these dispersion series, but still it wasn't enough. Till eventually I found a resin that, of course, again, totally by mistake, I realized I can sculpt it. And that was a revelation for me because I could do things now that I really was trying to do in my paintings. And that's how it all started, with series that I call the foldings. They are very romantic, very Renaissance, and somehow very religious for me. I think of the Pietà in Rome, Michelangelo, or anything that has this draping effect. It was just born by itself, and then it kind of sucked me into it. I took this to a different way. I took it into a color, which gives you a totally different thing. Of course, I feel very at home in the moment there is any kind of a color that's happening. And this could be put, on a wall. It could be on the floor. It could be in the middle of the table. But it's an artwork to me that has dimensions, and it's live, and you can touch it and caress it. because my work is kind of sensual. I get lots of people telling me that it's sensual work, and I think it probably is. You can do also flat things with it, which I am trying to do, and translucent ones, like these kite tails that I call the kite tails, that could be hanging. You know, they have a dimension also, even though they are flat. I also started to do some, here for example are kind of more geometric pieces, but I wanted to relate all of these different things from painting to these little sculptures. Here is a table full of these things just to experiment. Well, this is again the new direction that I'm taking in the sculpting. It's of course a tube, and you can see art, and lots of artists do tubings, but again what resin allows me to do here, I can mold it, I can play with it, I can make it organic, I can add glass to it, and it could be, you know, something that you can really again feel connected to. It's not rigid, it has a movement to it. You can create a whole artwork with it, you know, all different kind of composition that would look really fabulous. You can put lights in it if you want, but I just love the idea of taking a tube and making it dimensional. This is a new work that I am doing. We call it fusion because it's really a mixture of my previous work and of the new work that I am too. There was a very honest thing about it. I physically could not anymore conquer these giant pieces of resin I used to do because of physically you couldn't lift it, you need 3 people to do it. And I wanted to be in control, that actually I don't need anybody when I'm working at it. So this is a very interesting new technique. In the background, it's my painting on canvas. It's an archival print that is resined. And then I work with silicone and with paint and spray to create basically another layer of it. So you still come with the dimension that I always desire. It could be also different. I can create even more layering, that sometimes I take pieces and I still put it even on top of it to get you more dimensions with it. So this is new, this is just the beginning. It will be very exciting. I am excited about it. Resin is a wonderful material, even that it's known for basic things that people are familiar with, but they are not so familiar with actual sculptures like this. And many times people have to get used to this. This is actually resin, not glass. But in glass you could not, in a way, achieve what you can achieve in resin. So it is kind of tricky because people do come and say, wow, it's a beautiful glass. And then get a little bit say, but it's resin. And it gets them time to adjust to the material. So I think I'm very much in forefront with this material, using it the way I do. And I hope that people will start to understand it, that it's absolutely very important medium, especially today.